That being said, we're gonna move on to item number 6, the ICISD petition to permanently abandon and vacate 4th Street. Consideration of the Irion County ISD petition to permanently abandon and vacate the City of Mertzon right-of-way, commonly known as the 39th block of 4th Street between the cross streets of Fayette and Juanita, and any action therefore. I believe Coach Connor had some deliberation beforehand.
Thank you, Bill.
And being as they are having a trustee meeting tonight, he was elected to be their spokesperson for this meeting. Correct?
Yes, sir. First off, thanks for letting me come tonight and speak to you guys. I know there's been some questions about some things that I would like to address after meeting with school board president and our architect on a few things from the meeting the other night. So if you will look at the first page there, what I did there was I kind of wanted to show you guys one of the best features about this location. When you're looking at the gym placement in this area, and we were doing that early on, trying to find the best location. One good thing about this spot is that the school owns the land surrounding the intersection, which is always potential for future parking, depending on different things, which we will talk about. If you turn to the next page, you can see that they also own behind the gym, all 3 corners of that intersection. Moving to page 4, there are 3 existing structures that could potentially be removed in favor of parking 10 to say 40 years down the road. We're looking at a gym that will be here for a very, very long time. So who knows what would happen with the tennis courts or the maintenance building. The new maintenance building or area for buses could be moved somewhere else. That building is pretty old. I do not know how old, but I do know that 10 years from now, 15 years from now, it could be a situation where they want to build a new barn for the maintenance director and all of their equipment, so they could put that somewhere else, and that could potentially be future parking. Tennis courts, down the road they could crack with costly repairs, and the school may decide, the school board at that time may decide that they want to completely remove those and put parking in those areas, which would be right by the front door. And they would have that option because they already own the land. But I'm not going to talk about what that would provide, okay, because that's not what we're looking at. We're looking at today. So if you turn the page, you can see existing parking. And all I did was copy little cars from the front of the high school and start pasting them everywhere, the same size as over in front of the high school. And parking along the street all the way down Fayette on both sides, starting at the gym, where the gym would be located on 4th Street, and around the tennis court, and there's even more parking around the tennis court. I've come up with 126 around there. You guys, this is a rough estimate, but this is a good estimate. I went back to the different parking in the front of the high school, the new gym right there by the old girls' weight room, because we talked about how we could because the well that's located there, remember last time he had changed that configuration. Well, we can cap that well and just put it in a manhole for future use if needed, because it's not being used currently. So we could still put a parking lot there.
Which one are you going?
It is located right there where it says 14 and 14 handicap.
That tower that shows?
No, not the tower.
There's a
water well.
Existing water well that's right beside the girls' old weight room.
And instead of filling it in and getting rid of it, we talked about a manhole or something.
Years ago,
It's
it used
just
to
a well.
water the practice field.
Just a well.
Yes, ma'am. When,
Just the pipe.
where the new courts are, when that was grass, water was pumped out of there, and another well over there to water that field. So you get another 14 handicap areas around there and around the existing gym foyer. So all in all, 126 plus 14, and that's just on the front side, and all within a block of the front of the gym. If you turn the page, there could be potentially a huge lot that would offer another 100 spaces, where the trailer house is located on 5th and Fayette. The Posies are currently living there, but it is a trailer house, which is inexpensive to relocate to another area of school property, and could potentially lead to a large parking lot there. On the next page, on page 7, this is existing rear parking that we would have in the back. And once again, I just took cars, put them on there and counted. We're looking at around another 100 spots, area for a couple of buses right there by the tennis courts. I left the alleyway on both sides of the gym with no parking in there, and came to around 100. So with that, there's around 250 parking spots. So if 2 people come in each spot, that's 500 people. We rarely fill our own gym as it is, and we're looking at around 300 possibly fitting in there. So playoff games, events, we should have plenty of parking. The next page is kind of where we got our design from. This is the gym in Garden City. And I put these pictures in there to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at. When we were discussing the gym style and everything, the gym that was proposed at the very beginning of this whole thing was one that was already built, and it was just, basically we're gonna take those plans and build the same gym here. And it was a little over 26,000 square feet. It had locker rooms tucked under the bleachers. The bleachers were real high on the home stands side, I think about 15 rows up, and it held somewhere around 550 people. This is more of it's got 5 rows, it's an arena, it's just spread out a little bit more. Locker rooms are in the back in a separate part. It's basically a giant barn with a court in the middle. What this does is it allows you to be right on top of the action. I took this picture at a playoff game between Cristobal and Celica, and you can see the stands weren't even full, and it was one of the loudest gyms I've ever been in. It was a great environment. This end down here has kids standing. That would be it would just be open bleachers down there where you would have your student sections. Each of the home and visitor side have the big 21-inch stadium seats. Like I said, locker rooms and everything in the back. Next page is just another picture of it. I talked last time about the tabletop. You can see there on the left. You would have the option to grab some food, come stand right there, eat your food, charge your phone, whatever, and still be able to watch the game up close and not be real far away or behind glass. The concession stand is right there in the arena. So, all of that being said, I want to talk about a couple more things that were brought to my attention. Gym size being the main one. When looking at this, we didn't want to just build the exact same kind of gym we had, or the same kind of gym that Cristobal has, or Miles has, or Winters, or anybody else. If you've been to Bronx, I don't know how many of you have been to Bronx, but they have a gym kind of like that was proposed, except the locker rooms and everything were still crammed in that same building, not off to the side. And so we wanted to open that space up a little bit. And when we went and looked at Garden City, all the board members fell in love with it. It's a beautiful gym, and it's right in line with what people are building now, not what they were building 40 years ago. I don't know how many of y'all have been to a basketball game where you had to stand against the wall, stand in the back. That's why there's more seating, and we only did like 4 rows. It's only 4 rows up, and we're able to get 600 and something people in there. You're not way up in the top 15 rows up to get 600 people in there. So it puts everybody right on top of the action. And people don't have to stand if they don't want to. Then the other thing, this gym is still in budget. Whenever you're building a new facility, number one thing is, you know, safety, budget, functionality, those are the things you look at. Well, this is still within budget, so why not? Why not build a larger space, a nicer space, more open space, if you can remain within budget? So that's all I've got. Do you guys have any questions about anything that I haven't covered? Maybe anything that's come up? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, Michelle, we'll see if you can get a hold of Jeff on the phone. We'll be moving into executive session as soon as we get our attorney on the phone. Might have to ask y'all all to step out. All right, time is 7:52. We're going to turn back to open session for any actions discussed during executive session. Do I have any motions?
I make a motion to accept the petition to permanently abandon and vacate the city of Mertzon's right-of-way, commonly known as 39th block of 4th Street between the cross streets of Fayette and Juanita.
I'll second.
Danny made the motion, so seconded. All in favor? All opposed? Melissa opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item